Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here. I swear I'm here. I swear, hopefully you guys are having an awesome day so far. It is Thursday, August 14th, and just about a quarter after 11 out there on the East Coast for you East Coasters. Just about 8:15 right now. And let's do a little temp check on what's going on here in the Phoenix area. I always like to just remind you guys, 99 degrees out here at 8:15. Shocking people. And I'm hearing a little, there we go, that sounds a lot nicer. Doesn't that sound nicer? None of that whatever the heck is going on frequency problem there. Anywho, I'm gonna scoot the microphone a little bit closer. I might even bring you guys, come on a little closer. You guys caught me right in the middle of dinner. I swear, running this tiny little empire of a channel keeps me pretty busy. So thank you so much. First off, I'm sitting here like in my own head, hanging out with you guys and wasting your time. Thank you so much for jumping on in. I know this was last minute. It's always great when you guys can jump in last minute and hang out with me. We're going to have a lot of fun, discussing kind of a versus battle here between slashers, supernatural horror films, and psychological horror films as well. So right now we've got a poll in the chat if you want to participate in that one. I've got a whole bunch of other polls and we're going to get into this. So we're going to just kind of have a little rap session, talk about some of the classics from each genre, just the different aspects that these genres bring to, horror fans like us. And I'm just curious to know, we all have our own, favorites, whether it's favorite movies in a subgenre or even just like a favorite subgenre overall. Like, I really do enjoy slashers. I would say slashers and like slow burn haunted house movies. So maybe Supernatural is kind of like my next go-to. And we can get a little nerdier, if you want to say like, oh, I really like supernatural movies, but it's mostly like vampire movies or zombie movies that are supernatural. So there's a whole bunch of, subgenres to each subgenre in there. So thank you so much, Michelle. I see that you're liking my shirt. Yeah, this is one of those kick-ass Halloween shirts. What is this, Gutter Garbs or one of those? I got a couple of them at H45. I could have picked, I was like, oh, which ones do I want? Guys, I've got a soft spot for Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. So I picked up one of those shirts and it's got like Michael with the axe, like hanging out with all the laundry, about to hit Deborah Strode there right in the forehead. So anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We've got 25 people kicking it with us. You guys have been making the live streams absolutely incredible lately. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate your support on the pre-recorded videos as well. Yesterday, I dropped my weapons video, and today I dropped a review of Sweet Revenge. It wasn't a deep dive breakdown of every little frame, but I figured I would put a review out there. Maybe it would bring some people to the channel that don't catch live streams or wouldn't be inclined to watch a live stream that's 3 hours and 17 minutes. Like we did last night, which was a super big blast. But yeah, guys, thank you again. Make sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. Share the channel or share this stream with someone who you think would dig this kind of content. Maybe you've got a relative or a friend that's looking for something fun to do on a Thursday night. And, you could reach out to them and say, hey, there's this goofy guy named Davey Deathray. He's got kind of an all right voice. He's a total nerd. You should jump in the chat with me and let's have a battle between what kind of horror movie subgenre is the best one of the bunch. And let's see here, before we really get going, I feel like I'm floundering already, but I'm trying to be nice. One of the things with therapy that I'm learning is I'm trying to be nicer to myself, allow myself some more grace, love myself a little bit more, see more value within myself. So if you catch me being too tough on your boy Davey Deathray, then tell me to stop it. And there was something I was going to check here really quick. What the heck was it? Oh, it was the poll. So we have 29 votes already. You guys are amazing. Hopefully all of you have liked the stream as well. Which subgenre delivers the best scares? And out of 29 votes, 41% of you are saying psychological, 38% are saying slasher, and 21% are saying supernatural. Oh, and you know what I remembered? This is what I had to do. Originally, I was going to go check out that movie tonight, Jimmy and Stiggs. And I was like, man, I'm having such a fun time hanging out with everyone in the live chats that I'd sort of rather just do that tonight. You know, I can check out Jimmy and Stiggs later on this weekend, but I just want to make sure to cancel my ticket here so they don't assume it as one of my 4 of the week, and then I can go check it out. Because guys, I have that AMC A-list thing. If you're near an AMC, I'm about 25 minutes away from my AMC, but if you are near one, I recommend getting the A-list because you can go to see 4 movies a week if you want to. It's really killer. And they've got one, if Regal is closer to you, they've got the same kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Witchboard remake this weekend. Probably check out Jimmy and Stiggs, and maybe even check out Shin Godzilla, which I've never seen, and they've got it out there in 4K. And then, holy crap, next week, like a week from this Monday, Batman and Batman Returns in Dolby. I'm so pumped about that. Little update here in the poll. Psychological's 43%, Slasher 37%, Supernatural 20%. And then also, guys, I did put a super chat goal in there. Again, super chats aren't required or anything like that. I just want you guys to hang out with me and subscribe and like the stream. And in fact, you know what's even better than super chats? You see that little QR code right there? That's even better than super chats, because guys, Google takes like 40% of the super chat money, believe it or not. But if you throw a little something at the QR code, all of that goes to me through Venmo. And again, not required, but if that's something where you're feeling it and you want to do that, then I just wanted to let you guys know about those options. And so, yeah, the super chat goal would be a bonus stream, live stream this weekend, and we would talk horror and music, soundtracks that slay. So we'd go through our favorite horror movie soundtracks, which could be really, really fun. And let's see here. A couple things before we get going. Actually, you know what? I'll say hello to everyone because the chat is friggin' flying, and then I'll share a couple things with you guys that I want to go over before we really jump into the discussion tonight. Holy cow, the chat really is flying. You guys are absolutely incredible. Chester likes this topic. Hell yeah, Chester. How you doing? Lamontre Gillard in the house. What's happening? We got Michelle Schmidt. What's up, Michelle? Ashton Luck is in the house. King Matthew III, Adrian James. What's up, Adrian? And guys, if you said something that's very important at the beginning of the chat, you're just going to have to bring it on back. We got Dean Renner, one of our great Patreon members, channel members, and Death Squad mods. How you doing, Dean? We've got Amanda kicking it with us. Happy Friday Eve. There it is. We got Joel from Dark Room Reviews in the house as well. Let's see here. Avery is kicking it with us as well. What's happening, Avery? Always a pleasure, my guy. Hopefully I don't miss anyone here. We got Eli Cortez, one of our great channel members, and Death Squad mods, a pillar of the horror YouTube community, reminding everyone to hit that like button. That's what's up. We got Johnny Diamond in the house. What's happening, Johnny? Hope you are doing well, good sir. Johnny's been jumping into the comments section lately. You know, I've been seeing what's been really great and encouraging, guys, is I've been seeing a lot of people who I don't recognize as subscribers. They might be, and maybe I don't know them because they're not jumping into the chat. But a lot of people checking out the pre-recorded videos and jumping into the comments section, which is great. We are already at 1,630 subscribers. So we just crossed that 1,600 mark on Saturday, and we are humming along, guys. Thank you so much for sharing the channel, liking the streams, doing all that good stuff. Thank you so much. Blu-ray Addict is in the house. What's happening, Blu-ray? We got Prince as well. The lovely Miss Jamie Hart, our original Death Squad mod, Miss Mama Mod, and a YouTube channel member. Hope you're doing well, Jamie. Hope you're feeling top notch right about meow. Ty Lee in the chat, one of our great channel members. What's happening, Ty? Great to see you. Supernatural is the best. Well, there it is. Put a stamp on it. Illuminated Pro says psychological. I was almost like psychology all the way. Psychological all the way. Rosemary's Baby, Repulsion, The Tenant, Diabolique, Psycho, Vertigo. Ooh, Psycho, I guess it is. It is a little psychological. It's kind of a proto slasher too, you know. It's right there. Fight the Good Fight in the chat. What's happening, Fight the Good Fight? Great to see ya. We got the lovely Miss Brooke Scarlett, one of our great channel members, and Death Squad mods, reminding everyone to stab that like button. Secret Dance Move 691 says Slasher will always have first place in my heart. I'm kind of right there with you. Holy cow, we got the birthday boy Dave Vanderhoff in the chat. Are you allowed to sing happy birthday? I thought it was copywritten, but I can do a quick version. Maybe they won't copyright us for it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dave Vanderhoff. Happy birthday to you. Cha. Happy birthday, Dave. And thank you so much for the awesome tombstone that was gifted to me just about a month ago. I'm still loving it. It's right there. It's right there next to our Camp Crystal Lake that we just can't let go of because of our sweet revenge hangs yesterday. We got Chills and Thrills watch party in the house. What's happening? That's Brett Man, Mr. Brett from Good Real Hunting. Guys, if you have not subscribed to Chills and Thrills watch party channel, so if you dig watch parties, that's the place to go. Every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I love this idea that Brett has put together, and to have a channel that's solely based around that. Wishing Brett all the luck, just all the best. Not even luck. Fuck luck. Luck ain't real. I mean, I guess maybe luck is real a little bit, but it's mostly hard work and timing and all that kind of fun stuff. And Brett, man, what's your count over there on Chills and Thrills? I feel like you've got to be close. Maybe you've passed 70 subs at this point. Only one watch party so far, but let's get the guy to 100 subs as quick as we can. All right. Coming up this week, I believe he's got the Hills Have Eyes remake for the watch party. So really, really cool stuff. Let's see here. I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody else. Maybe I'm not. We got Jay Beach in the house. What's happening, Jay Beach? Johnny wants to know if I'm going to review Witchboard after I see it. Well, I will do an out of the theater reaction for Witchboard. And sometimes, guys, it's just sort of like, do I have enough to say? I feel like I will have enough to say, and honestly, I probably need to watch the original. I've never seen. You guys let me know in the chat. I've heard the original Witchboard is good. Are there sequels? Like, how much do I really need to catch up on before watching the movie this Saturday? Let me know. Let me know. It is great to see Chuck Russell back in horror. Yeah, The Blob, Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Awesome. I think it's something like that, Jamie. It might be 50%. Here's what I'll say, is it's almost half. It's somewhere in that range. So again, guys, super chats are so very welcome. And I think what's great about the super chat is it gives you guys a chance to have that like brought up on the screen, and we can all kind of celebrate that together. But if it's just about wanting to support the channel in a financial manner, which no one is required to do, that Venmo code is the best way to make sure that I get every little bit of your money. Well, maybe I shouldn't say it like that. I'll say it like this. That QR code for the QR code for Venmo is the best way to ensure that Google doesn't get their greedy little paws into the money. What's happening, Pat? How are you doing? We got Pat, that Halloween movie collector, in the house. One of our great community members here, and Pat has a fantastic channel with Brett Patrick over there. I love hanging out at Pat's channel. That's one of Friday nights I just usually take off because I'm like, oh, Friday night I'm going to kick it with Pat. Tuesday nights I usually, for the most part, usually take off at least the early part of the night because I want to make sure that I'm able to hang out with everyone over there. I want to see that as well. Yeah, I might have to fit that in on the weekend also. Let's see here. Who else do we got? Brad Underwood is in the chat. What's happening, Brad? So good to see ya. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone else. Yeah, spank that like. It likes a little kink. It sure does. Hey, if you don't like being, smacked around in a loving way, I don't even know what to think of you. I just really don't know what to think of you. We got Cody Snyder in the chat. What's happening, Cody? One of our great channel members and Death Squad mods and the buffest guy in the chat, unless Ryan Underwood has entered the chat. But Cody's the man. Love that guy. Cody and Chester are probably the two people in the community that I've been interacting with the most because it all started over on Dave McCrae's channel. We've got Solar Guy AJ. What's happening, Solar Guy AJ? YouTube's having a tough time displaying real screen names. Maybe that is your real screen name. I don't recognize you. So I'm guessing this might be your first time in the chat. So welcome. You are kicking it with the Death Squad. Everybody makes Solar Guy AJ feel very, very welcome. 68 subscribers. Yeah, guys. There we go. Thank you so much, Brooke, for sharing that. If you have not subscribed to Chills and Thrills, go ahead and show our guy Brett Man some love. Brett is such a sweetheart. I don't think there's a nicer, most down-home kind of Southern guy in the horror YouTube community. At least if there is, I haven't met him. So I, encourage you to support Chills and Thrills and Good Real Hunting. Oldies. I think Pat's right there behind you guys too. After rewatching Sweet Revenge, I liked it even less. The whole Eve eating forbidden fruit, her getting reanimated by the lake. Yeah, Amanda, who is in the chat, actually brought something to my attention. She's like, oh, Sweet Revenge, like the name Eve is inside of revenge. And then is Eve a revenant? Because the name Eve is also in the word revenant. So there's some, and then of course the biblical thing, yeah, like you bring up here, secret dance move. So yeah, there is, there's something there. Oh shit, Ryan is in the chat. So it goes Ryan Buffist. Cody is working on it. So he's, there you go. My dude Ryan is a dragon. Yeah, man, it's truly incredible, the transformation. I just want to like lose some weight and tone what I have. And then I look at a guy like Ryan and I'm like, it's like you're not even trying, Davey. It's like you're not even trying. Okay, holy cow, I got to be close. There we go. We are all caught up on the chat. That is awesome. And Brett from Chills and Thrills dropped the first 199 super chat. If we get 9 more of those, we'll do a bonus stream this weekend and talk about our favorite, music or favorite music and favorite soundtracks in a horror film. So that would be pretty fun to do a little bonus stream with you guys. Thank you so much, Brett. Really appreciate you. And guys, before we get into the whole meat of the conversation, I just do want to bring up a couple things. Okay, so just bear with me. Guys, Slasher Trash pre-order. Okay, we are in, kind of mission critical here. This thing ends at midnight on August 14th, which is today. So we have 5.5 hours. I think it's just 4.5 hours. It says 5.5 hours, so maybe they're counting it in Alaskan time. Because it's just 3.5 hours over here on the West Coast. But yeah, guys, let me share this link here in the chat. If you want to, that's not what I'm trying to do. That's not what I'm trying to do. There we go. What's great about this link, guys, is this is a 4+ hour documentary from the same folks who brought us the In Search of Darkness documentary series. And they put together some really, really cool stuff for the horror community. So you can purchase even a digital copy of the film. I went ahead and pinned the link in the chat so you can check that out. So the cool thing about this is you can support the people over at Creator VC that put together these documentaries for us horror nerds. And it also supports the channel. I get a nice little 20% commission on it. So again, guys, whenever I'm like literally shilling something that could benefit the channel or myself financially, I'm always going to tell you guys about it and let you know. I'm not going to like try to sneakily do anything. And I'll just be completely upfront about it. So there you go. If you would like to, support the folks over at Creator VC, let me go ahead and bring that up really quick. There we go. Not so bad. Okay. So yeah, I know I've showed this off to you guys numerous times. I just figured while I'm talking about it, I would bring it up. So this is set to deliver digitally August of 2026, and shipping for the physical copies September 2026 is the estimated time frame. But I'll give you the quick and dirty on it, guys. It is a documentary called Slasher Trash, and it is about the trashy, grimy, gritty slashers of the late 70s and 80s, just celebrating all those movies like Sleepaway Camp and Pieces and Curtains and Slumber Party Massacre and The Burning, and probably a whole bunch that I've never seen, which is why I'm really excited to take part in this, because I know I'm going to learn something. With a documentary being 4.5 hours, you bet your butt I'm going to find out about some movies that I've either never heard of or have just that I know about, but I've never gotten the chance to see. And maybe it'll, get me enthused to check out some of these. So I wanted to share that with you guys one last time. The link is pinned in the chat. So that's it for that one. It closes at midnight here on the 14th. So that's the last time I'm going to bug you about that one. But you know what I will do is I will bug you about our merch store. The link is in the description for the merch store, guys. And there is a discount code. The word Death Squad, all one word, gets you 15% off at checkout. We've got some Death Squad hats here, very reasonably priced, $15 to $18 for the trucker hats, depending on whether or not you get a printed design or an embroidered design. We've got mugs, we've got hoodies, we've got t-shirts and koozies. We have all sorts of fun stuff. Guys, this is just a little sample of what we have on the shop here for Fourth Wall. And Fourth Wall is very reputable. They are awesome. They let me know when the order's been placed, when the order's been shipped, and when the order's been delivered. So if you ever have any issues, I'd be able to track it very easily with them. And so far, from the handful of orders we've gotten, I haven't heard any complaints about, timing issues or quality issues at all. And I know Jamie Hart is in the chat, and she got a handful of merch because she's got her very own Jamie Hart. Let me just bring it up here. Jamie Hart line, the I Saw That in the Theater line. So you can get hats, mugs, t-shirts, little ladies tank top, a really cool purple hoodie. But of course, there are multiple colors available there, just depending on what you like. And I know it's very rude to itch my ear, but it is driving me crazy. So my apologies. But yeah, Jamie, just let everyone know in the chat the quality and everything. If it's something you recommend, I would appreciate it. We even have some Hit the Bricks merch. So if you like the show Hit the Bricks with Lee from Drum Dums, Nick from the Lost River Drive-In, and myself, where we have topical discussions and we talk about horror movie news and all that stuff, we have a whole bunch of merch there as well. So hoodies, tanks, crop tops, even a crop top sweatshirt, mugs, hats, glasses, all that kind of fun shit. And there's just a whole bunch of stuff here. So feel free to peruse the shop. The link, again, is in the description below. Very reasonably priced items here. And also, guys, one last thing about the shop. If there is an item here where you're like, oh, man, I'd love to have this Death Squad design, but I want it on, like, sweatpants, or I want it on, like, a bag that I can take, like, shopping with me when I go to the farmer's market, or whatever. If there's an item here that you would like to own in your own personal collection and be able to represent your love for the channel and the community, just let me know and I can put something together. Okay. You can DM me through Instagram or through Twitter. And if you just want to email me, I will put my email in the chat as well. So if there's something you're looking for that you're just not finding there, just don't hesitate to let me know. Okay. All right, guys. So I want to cover a couple things really quick here from the news. I know we've been talking for 24 minutes. I'm trying to go close and quickly, I promise. So Johnny Diamond, who's in the chat, brought this to my attention here. There's an article on Bloody Disgusting by Alex DiVincenzo that says how Sweet Revenge director and star brought a new Jason and new Final Girl to the screen. Now, this is an interview. It's a really long article, guys. I'm not going to go through the entire article, but I encourage, if you are curious about Sweet Revenge, whether or not you liked it, if you just want to know a little bit more about the background, what the intentions are moving forward, and all of that kind of stuff, there are a bunch of nice little tidbits here. And I just wanted to share the fact, first off, that this interview exists, and I wanted to go through a couple of the little snippets here. Some of this we've already covered, Mike Nelson talking about how amazing it is just to have the opportunity to do a Friday the 13th film, essentially, even if it's just a short film. He says, this idea presented itself to me right away. The wheels started turning and I was like, oh my God, I think I know where I want to go with this. And for me, it was always about bringing back that initial feeling of those movies without just rehashing the same story, says Mike Nelson. And then he continues, I wanted to bring something new to it, but also something to give us those warm, cozy feelings that we had when we watched those first 4 Friday the 13th movies, which I think were groundbreaking for slashers. And then Ali Ionitis, who played Eve, says, after talking to Mike, I was so excited by his passion for the franchise. Getting asked to be a Friday the 13th Final Girl, I definitely understood the weight of that. I was in shock. I could just tell Mike really wanted Eve to be a full character, not just some final girl in a short. That really got me excited, and we had such a short time to prep for it. I didn't have time to think about the weight of it. I was just like, how can I make this hit as hard as possible. And Nelson interjects and says, you don't want to upset the fans, but the approach to the film was to get enough of the feel to look, take us back into the woods with the cabins by the lake, and give us a really great ferocious scene of a Jason attack. And then Allie jumps in and says, when I was in the canoe getting pulled in the water, that was just so sick to be able to pay homage to literally one of the most iconic moments in any slasher movie. And Nelson replies, it's a short film. We don't have a lot of time. It's 13 minutes and it just cruises. The key there was to give enough of the eye candy where you're immersed in the world of Friday the 13th and then just go to town and bring Jason in. Now, I think there's something here that again, it's a very long article. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but Nelson says right here, the article continues, Nelson sought to add to the legacy of Jason without altering the lore established in the movies. Quote, we introduce this new character of Eve and see how she reacts to and deals with Jason in a very particular circumstance that happens to her. So to me, I think they're talking about this whole Revenant thing, you know, passing away in Crystal Lake, it's got a death curse, that the death curse is like what brings you back. And just to close this thing out before I keep on rambling with the article, Ionitis, a horror fan herself, revisited the Friday the 13th movies to prepare for her part. Quote, I definitely went back and did all my research like I was cramming for a test to make sure that I was going to do it all justice. I wanted to give people the same feeling even though she's this new character. So yeah, it sounds like, you know, they talk about how the production was really fast because Mike Nelson had just finished up the Silent Night, Deadly Night, and there was no time to overthink anything and all that. But I think the last thing I want to show or share with you here, hopefully I didn't miss it. I don't think I did. They talk about the criticism of the new mask and everything as well, guys. So certainly something you want to check out. If you're watching this after the fact, I'll share some of these snippets on the screen so you can read through them. And just to finish out this interview, again, much bigger article than most Bloody Disgusting articles. Just to finish out this one here, it says, Nelson would be happy to continue the story of Sweet Revenge if the opportunity presents itself. Quote, I think it would be fun to see what happens next between Jason and a character like Eve. That would be something that I'd be very interested in seeing and would obviously love to be a part of it. And, you know, Ali Ionitis basically echoes the same sentiment there. So I think that's the thing with Sweet Revenge. If you watch my review, if you were here for the stream last night, if it continues and we can see this actually get fleshed out a little bit more, then I think Sweet Revenge is going to look better, retrospectively. If this is all we get, though, is this Sweet Revenge, and then they have a movie or something that has nothing to do with this, then unfortunately I do think it is kind of a waste of time. And I think there is something interesting here, even if they don't want to do another short or two. I think this can kind of work as like a prologue to a full-length movie. So I don't know. I definitely want to see Skylar White, who is 6'6". I want to see him like bulk up a little bit for Jason, but I guess that's like my main complaint about the Jason look moving forward. The mask makes him look a lot smaller than 6'6". And then I do want to know your guys' thoughts in the live chat and everything. If you're watching after the fact, let me know down in the comments. But I do have something else that we are going to share. And then I swear, guys, we are going to jump into our discussion. But holy cow, you guys, we have got, check this out, new Crystal Lake set photos. Now, I found these on, of course, you can see right there. This is just an easier way to give people credit. Friday the 13th archivist on Instagram. So, you know, that bronze kind of old school town of Crystal Lake sign that we saw being constructed the last time we covered the news here? There it is, right up in front of the downtown. And there are a whole bunch of fun pictures here, guys. We've got the Elston oil supply. You know what I might do is I think I'm going to remove that just for the time being. There we go. So we got that Elston oil supply truck there. We've got the Jeep. We've got the Pamela Voorhees Jeep. I'm guessing that's the Pamela Voorhees Jeep because right here we see Pamela talking with Crazy Ralph. So pretty cool. I love that phone booth there in the background. Such a nice touch. You know, this is the 70s. You can tell that phone booth has been there probably since the 60s or so. There we get a kind of a faraway shot of Crazy Ralph tying up his bike or what have you. We've got a shot, it looks like, just talking about, that must be one of the directors, just, before a scene gets shot. This one's a little bit blurry, but it's still cool to see, Linda Cardellini in a little bit of a different outfit. We've really only seen her in that work dress so far. And then here we've got, just some more, looks like Linda's got the script in her hand, so just doing a little studying in between takes. Looks to be the same outfit there. She's wedged between the guy right on the far right and then the big dude standing to her right there. And then we've got, a little shot from the director's chair, cinematographer's chair, just looking at the way the show is getting framed. Little shot behind the shoulder of Pamela looking at Crazy Ralph. Looks very cinematic. I know it's tough we don't see any like post-production or anything like that, but I'm really digging this look here. It seems like they're going for a theatrical kind of look. And then we've got a shot here of one of our police officers hanging out with, oh my God, I don't even know who that is that's in the suit. Is that Vince Vaughn's brother? I don't know. Could be. The cop outfit is great here. Oh my gosh, the mustache, the hair. The actor playing this police officer has a very believable 70s look. I absolutely love it. And then, of course, we've got the police vehicle there just, behind the scenes. So I know I kind of whipped through those pretty quick, guys. I think what I'll do is bring it on back to a little Pamela shot while we talk about it just for a second. But yeah, really cool to see more set photos. Anytime that I notice anything or anytime that you guys notice something that maybe I missed, feel free to reach out and let me know, like Johnny did on I believe it was a comment. Johnny reached out there. So shout out to Johnny Diamond for sharing that interview with Mike P. Nelson and Ali Ionitis with me. And then, of course, thank you to Friday the 13th Archivist on Instagram. If you want to get all the breaking news or breaking pictures, then I guess that person is a great person to follow. But yeah, guys, if you're watching live, let me know what you think in the live chat. If you're watching after the fact, jump on into the comments, give me your thoughts on the interview, on Sweet Revenge, if you want to see a continuation, if you just disliked it so much that you don't want to see anything else. And of course, give me your thoughts here on these Crystal Lake photos. How's the show looking to you? Are you excited to see the show? I'm guessing we're going to get it in February or March of 2026 because both of those months have a Friday the 13th in them. So this is, to me, all very encouraging. I'm super looking forward to it. But let me know your thoughts in the comments and in the chat, guys. And yeah, make sure to like, subscribe if you haven't already. Share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content because the community is growing and we are looking into all of this great horror movie and TV news, and we're not going to stop. So make sure that notification bell is hit and you won't miss a damn thing. Okay, guys, I've done enough shilling there. I've done enough shilling for everyone else. And myself, okay, admittedly, and myself. Although maybe I could do one more here. Oh, no, I can't. I can't do that. Ooh, you know what I can do, though? I think I can... Guys, if you have not yet voted for Davey Deathray to win Best Live Streamer on YouTube, there is a way that you can vote for me. I'm going to drop a link here. Yes, I can't drop the link in the chat, unfortunately. But what I can do, you might have to reload the page. I'm going to add it to the description. So if you reload the live stream here, if you have a Google account and you haven't yet voted, it would be amazing to win Best Live Streamer. I put a lot into these streams. I know you guys can tell that, and I know you guys love what we do here. This would be an award that I would 100% share with you guys. You know, this is something that would be a win for all of us in the community. So I'm going to jump on over to the chat because I can see it sort of popping off here. Really quick before I go back to the chat, 42 votes in the poll. 38% is the winner, or is Slasher, which is the winning vote right now. Supernatural and Psychological are tied at 31% for the best scares in the horror subgenre showdown. So, holy cow. And God, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for the patience here I advertise it as a subgenre showdown, and then for 36 minutes we're talking about other stuff, and I've still got you guys in the chat kicking it. So love to see that. Let me see here. So boom, we got 199 from Brett. Holy cow, another one that says let's meet this goal. So wow, Brett is taking care of half of the work for everybody. Yeah, Amanda says day 9, almost in the double digits. That's right. That's what I brought out my phone to look at that too. Guys, I'm still keeping good on the no alcohol thing. And this is day 9. So it says 8.7 days so far. So I'm in the midst of 9 days, and we're going to keep it humming along because I'm feeling really good physically, mentally, emotionally, and I feel pretty sharp when I'm hanging out with you guys. So I like that. Pumpkin King drops a 199 and says, we can do this. Pumpkin King is in the house. How are you doing, Pumpkin King? And holy shit, drops the 49.99. Received your response to the Jurassic film codes. What a class act, bro. Well, here's the thing, Pumpkin King. You've been super generous and everything. I would be a total jerk to not put together some sort of response. And I'm sure you can tell I'm very verbose. Not only do I talk a lot, but when I start to email somebody or something like that, I can be a little wordy for sure. So yeah, and also, you know, it really is like no bullshit, guys. The connection that we have as a community and the connection that I'm able to make with all of you, whether it's casual or whether we've gotten to know each other a little bit deeper and we have like a DM conversation or whatever, or we've become like, you know, what I consider really good friends, like, you know, people like Pat That Halloween Movie Collector and, you know, Leanna and Bill and Dean and Jamie and Erica, like Eli, Brett. There's so many of you guys, you know, that I consider, I think of as friends and not, you know, even outside of the community here. So no bullshit. And, you know, I try to just put that into action instead of just saying it. It's like, you know, you're not only kind enough, Pumpkin King, to, you know, financially support the channel in such an awesome way, but to share the Jurassic Park codes. So those first 3 films, super nostalgic for me. And then I've never seen the World films, so I'm looking forward to jumping into those and checking them out for the very first time. And thank you so much for the $49.99. Friggin' amazing. And Pumpkin King drops a $9.99 and says, like and subscribe. You better do it because Pumpkin King says to do it. Amanda drops another $1.99 and says, we need your face on our butt cheeks, Davey. Oh, what does that mean? Oh my gosh, you're going to make me blush. What does that mean? That is dirty. That is dirty. I am an ass man, though. I am an ass man. So, you know, I guess you know what's up there, Amanda. And Cody Snyder has been a member for 12 months. So Cody, Eli, and Jamie are all in the 1-year anniversary group. And I know Leanna is just celebrating her 11th month, so she's coming up soon here. Yeah, really, really cool. So awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Cody. I really appreciate it, man. And yeah, guys, just so you know, if you are a channel member, for every month you're a channel member, you can share one of these cool member chats. It gets brought up kind of like a super chat. It allows us to celebrate your membership. And especially, you know, when you hit those marks, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, like whatever it is, even if it's just 1 or 2 months, like it's fun to just celebrate that. And I am putting together, what do I have put together for members? I've got something. It is going to be tomorrow, guys. I just wasn't able to put the stream up before this stream started. Can we get a what would Davey do tea? You can get a what would Davey do tea. Let me write that down so I don't forget. Let's see here. What would Davey do t-shirt? Okay. Boom. There it is. And there it is. Let's see here. Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. Really appreciate you. The hoodie is awesome. Great quality. Hell yeah. Let's see what else we got. I might just skip forward here. I'm feeling a little cheeky. Ooh, is that what did I miss here? Did I miss something about like short shorts? Do you guys want short shorts or something? Nice merchandise, says Michelle. Thank you so much. I don't know. Maybe I didn't miss something. Only 3 more super chats to go. I think you guys met it. Boom. Yeah, we made 10 out of 10. You guys are friggin' amazing. So you're going to get a bonus stream this weekend. Want some sweatpants that say Death Squad across my butt. That's what Amanda's talking about. We can do that, Jamie. Hopefully, I don't know if they make me go like down the leg or if I can go across the butt. I'll let you know. I will let you know. Yep, there it is. Okay, so that's how it goes. Yeah, I mean, well, and she could be a Revenant just like Jason. It could be a really fun versus thing. I will write that down, guys. I will write down, let's see here. Death Squad sweatpants with name on butt. There we go. Name on butt. Okay. Pumpkin King is a total rock star. Brother, you're literally the GOAT. It's amazing. You are incredible, Pumpkin King. I can hardly believe it. Of course, Johnny. I told you I would, right? I told you I would. If I had seen, I might have seen it first and just thought like, oh, I've been covering the news so much. I can't remember. It seems like every day there's like 2 new articles about Sweet Revenge. So I appreciate you. Even if I did see it, I certainly didn't see the bit about how they want to continue it. And then that was something that was done with, that it really was done with intention. It's not really supposed to be left up to interpretation. So I really appreciate you pointing it out to me. And yeah, guys, just feel free. Hit me up with a direct message or an email if you see something that you want me to cover. Plenty of people do, so don't hesitate. Pumpkin King dropping generosity like a pro. Pumpkin King, you're the king. That's true. The king in 2 different ways. Tell Davey you want the sweet, sweet sweatpants. Fucking legend. That's absolutely true. You can swear in here, Brett. It's okay. Avery has no interest in Eve. Fair enough, man. I think it can go either way. I'm like right in the middle on Sweet Revenge, pretty much. We need an option for sweatpants like Death Squad, or with Death Squad like Jamie said, or logo. Yeah. We can do, Death Squad across the butt, maybe logo like on the thigh, on the front, on the thigh. That could be cool. Let me see what options they've got. I know they have sweatpants. It'll just be more about like how they allow me to print on there. I don't mind Sweet Revenge, but the mask does leave something to be desired. Yeah, it is. I think the mask is too big. Even Vincent DeSanti posted a picture where he's wearing the mask. And he's a few inches shorter than Skylar White. Skylar White's 6'6". Vin is about 6'3". Vin makes me look small, and I'm 6 feet tall. And when Vin had the mask on, I'm like, oh my God, the mask makes Vin, like makes his head look small. That's crazy to me, because Vin is a pretty hulking dude. My face on the butt. The screaming late night with the Davy. I won't miss any of those super chats. Yeah. I see another one came through. Oh, I did get that one. I got that one. Face on butt cheeks. You got it. Met the goal. Oh my God. You guys are amazing. You guys are incredible. Solar Guy AJ really likes Sweet Revenge. I've seen a little bit of everything. Yeah, for sure. Edits Davy's face on nudes. Yeah, there you go. I could do that. Just put my face on some nudes there. I know. Guys, sometimes when the reason why, I'll let you guys know really quick. When I'm doing the news story, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I clip out some of the news stories and I post them as pre-recorded videos, but I'm able to overlay the pictures. So you get a better look at the pictures. You get a better look at the article when I'm reading the article. So I do put some editing into it for a little more production value. And for the sake of the people that are watching after the fact that aren't hanging out during the live stream, I just kind of barrel through it. And then that's why I jump in at the end and catch up on everything. But the great thing about StreamYard is it won't let me forget the amazing super chats and the member chats and all that kind of fun stuff. I don't think I'm missing saying hi to anyone. Hopefully not. But I do see what the heck happened here. Jeez, crow people. Pumpkin King. Oh my God, dude. You're gonna make me cry. You are gonna make me cry live on the internet here. Pumpkin King drops a 99.99 super chat, guys. Says, how do I get you to record my voice message with that smooth voice of yours? You should do Cameo, bro. Maybe, I don't know. Would anyone really want that? Yeah, I'm curious. Like, I don't know with Cameo. Do you have to like, here's the thing I don't know about Cameo. Do you have to have a certain amount of followers? Like, I wonder what kind of criteria you have to meet for Cameo. But you know what, Pumpkin King? You've given enough that if you want me to record you a voice message and send it to you, then I could do that through email. So that way you don't have to like share your phone number with me or anything like that. But shoot me an email back. Let me know what you want to say on the voice message, and I'll put a little something together for you. And yeah, guys, I mean, I don't know. If you ever wanted a little like private message, or you wanted to like get a happy birthday message to somebody or something silly like that, just reach out and ask. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Pumpkin King, $99.99. I can hardly fucking believe it, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, whatever you want me to record, as long as I can keep my clothes on, okay? I mean, we're getting there at $99.99. Seriously, though, guys, if we hit 2,000 subs before Halloween, I will dress up as the Alpha from 28 Years Later and do a live stream. So, boom. I dare you to make it happen. Based Logic is in the chat saying, slasher, hands down. Freddy, Jason, Michael, Ghostface. Nuff said, I love slashers as well, Based Logic. And welcome on back in. I think it's been a while, so really appreciate you jumping on in. Yeah, Pumpkin King this is incredible. I can't friggin' believe it. I really can't. Guy, this is why I did a live stream instead of a movie, because instead of going to a movie, is because you guys, right now we have 35 people hanging out watching the stream. If you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and do that. But you guys have been making the live stream so amazing. I mean, really, it's you guys. I'm just emceeing the event. I'm just here to curate the show, but it's kind of like it's our show. It's our channel, you know? And ever since like the last couple weeks, it's just the subscribership has been climbing. The comments after the fact has been climbing. Our stream last night where we watched Sweet Revenge and discussed it and then watched Sleepaway Camp got like way more views than most of my live streams get, and way more views after the fact, which is, you know, just a credit to you guys sharing and liking. And I don't know, I would imagine that YouTube maybe pumps up your material if you're bringing in super chats as well. So that's all credit to you guys also. And Amanda's dropping a $1.99, says your face plus our butt cheeks equals sweetest sweatpants. Oh, that's too adorable. Thank you so much, Amanda. Boom. Boom in the chat. The $99.99 boom. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, guys, subscribe over to our boy Dean Renner's channel. Enter the Cinevault. Good shit, and he's going to be coming back here pretty soon. That is a rich pumpkin. Cha-ching! $4.99 from Amanda says, I want short shorts too. Okay, we can do that. Little booty shorts. We got Dynamite Tiger says, gotta have a big butt to fit the words on. Well, you just get a smaller pair of sweatpants and they just really hug that ass. And you can always do squats to make your butt a little bit bigger. Okay, let me make sure I am not missing anybody else. Billy Judd has entered the chat. What's happening, Billy? So good to see ya. Okay, guys, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the stream here after 49 minutes of talking about other stuff. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Brett. Really appreciate the super chats, man, and can't wait for the next Chills and Thrills watch party, brother. Take care. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead. What I'm going to do here, guys, is I have some talking points, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to end this poll. So 46 votes. Boom, I'm ending it right there. So this just gives me an idea of kind of where you guys are starting, which subgenre delivers the best scares. So slasher gets 41%, psychological 30%, and supernatural 28%. That's out of 46 votes. So thank you guys so much, everybody who voted on that one. And yeah, what I want to jump into here, guys, is, you know, really, what is it? So tell me your favorite subgenre. I know I'm going to poke and prod you guys for information. your favorite subgenre out of those three. So basically whichever one you voted for. And let's have a little discussion about, let's start out with the classics. Like, what are, for your given, your favorite subgenre, slasher, supernatural, or psychological, what is, like, give me like 1 to 3 classics that really, for you, solidify that subgenre as your favorite. I'm interested in hearing that. And especially for you slasher people, let me know which slasher villain it is. For you folks that are supernatural, is it kind of a zombie thing, haunted house sort of thing, vampires? Like, what is the creature? Or maybe it is a creature. Maybe it's something like The Thing, or the creature from the Black Lagoon, or Frankenstein's monster. And then psychological horror, that's an interesting one too, because there isn't always like a clear-cut villain. You know, when you're talking about movies like Hereditary, The Babadook, you know, even something like Black Swan, like Session 9, stuff like that. What are those tenets of psychological horror that really draw you to that? Like, is it that kind of next level, that sort of elevated horror kind of thing, something like Get Out, you know, where it's just a kind of a think piece and you like having that something a little bit more to think about? I'm curious about those things. I know I'm giving you guys a lot of kind of tasks here, but that'll just sort of help push our conversation along here. And having said that, I'm going to get another poll going in the chat, and it's going to be the same 3, you know, subgenres, but it's going to be a different poll. So let's see here. Oh my goodness, there we are. Oh, come on, keyboard. What's happening here? I think my computer is like, you're pushing me too much, Davey. You're pushing me too much. Oh my gosh. There we go. Okay, supernatural. Appreciate you guys dealing with the radio silence here, the dead air. Oh my, man, it's really having, I'm sorry, the camera's going to shake a little bit. Probably. My keyboard, I might need to replace the batteries on it, everyone. Okay, so there's the next poll, guys. So you told me which one has the best scares. I'm curious to know which horror subgenre has aged the best. Slashers, supernatural, or psychological? Which subgenre has aged the best for you? And then I'm going to jump into your guys' thoughts here on everything as far as the other questions I was asking you. Avery says, my mind immediately goes to Halloween and Michael Myers. And it's not just because I'm wearing the shirt, Avery. No, dude, I'm the same way. Like, for me, slashers like almost like begin and end with Michael. And I know that Halloween wasn't the first slasher. You know, whether or not you consider Texas Chainsaw like a slasher or more of like a backwoods, I guess out of these 3 categories, Texas Chainsaw belongs in slasher more than the other 2 for sure. And then, you know, Black Christmas, same year. I think the same month as Texas Chainsaw, at least in Canada, it debuted then. And then I think it debuted in the States later on. And then, I mean, even before that, of course, Psycho from 1960, Peeping Tom from 1960. Those are like your proto slashers. I would say even Peeping Tom is more of a slasher than Psycho. And hot take, guys, I prefer Peeping Tom over Psycho. I don't know what it is about Psycho. It just, I don't think it's bad or anything. Psycho just sort of lands flat to me compared to movies like Vertigo and Rear Window and Rope, which I think are all better Hitchcock films for sure. But yeah, you know, Michael is like, I just always think of Michael, Avery. I'm right there with you. You know, he was the first slasher I fell in love with. I was about 8 years old. I saw Halloween 2 on the USA Network, and that was it. That was, you know, like Tears for Fears. I was head over heels, you know. Davey, what Death and Sleepaway Camp would you vote was the best? I really like the beehive kill. I was really, really digging that one for sure. Chester says, I like slashers, Halloween, Friday the 13th, Elm Street, Scream, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, slashers, they're so easy to digest, right? Slashers really are like the pizza and tacos of the horror world. You know what I mean? Like you could eat them every day. There's enough variety, but it's still familiar, you know? And you can always go to your dependable. You can always go to your cheese or your pepperoni, or, you know, with a taco, you've always got like your standard thing you can roll with. Whereas something like supernatural and psychological, those are like your homemade meals, your appetizer and entree. And then psychological might even be like a holiday feast, you know, something that's very nuanced and complicated. It's no wonder to me that slashers are the fan favorite. It really, it's not. They're, you know, especially like think about when you were a kid and you first started getting into horror. You're probably more likely, if you're a child, more likely to get into something like a slasher because it is so easily digestible, you know. Brooke Scarlett says slashers, Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, and Michael Myers is Brooke's favorite. Me too, Brooke. I knew there was something about you. I knew there was. Yeah, I'm kind of a basic bitch when it comes to it, guys. I think Michael's easily the best. For me, it goes Michael, Jason, Freddy out of the big three. I do really like Ghostface quite a bit. You know, John Carver, man. If we get a good trilogy of Thanksgiving movies, yeah. John Carver might even be, I might even like him more than Freddy. I might like John Carver more than Freddy off of just one movie. Love the look. Love the different, you know, implements of destruction each time. And I love the personality, the voice that was used, and just the whole mystery behind it all. Really love that stuff. Amanda says slashers are great for the jump scares, the kills, the effects and such. With psychological horror, it feels like it lingers a bit longer. Something a little more in reality. That's terrifying. Yeah, I think that's what it is about psychological horror that really does it for people. It's the this could really happen factor, right? That's the kind of thing that sort of keeps you up. In fact, you know what? I gave Weapons like 3.5 out of 5, but I tell you what, the 2 nights after I saw it, I had some really weird, spooky dreams. And it's because some of the stuff in that movie is very effective. I would say that, you know, there's a little supernatural. You know, Weapons is kind of a little mix of both. I'm not going to spoil anything, so I'm not going to, you know, dive in too deep, but there is a supernatural element, but also there certainly is some psychological horror going on there as well. And I think you're dead on, Amanda. I think, yeah, you know, slashers are just quick and easy, and then the stuff that like really sticks with you is the like that psychological. Oracle 6848, welcome on into the chat, says my favorite subject or subgenre is slasher. My favorite being the original Friday the 13th. Favorite killer, of course, would have to be Jason. But even Scream and Ghostface is right up there for me as well. Yeah, I think the really cool thing about Ghostface is it's a different person every time. So even though Ghostface uses that same voice and all that stuff, and there seems to be a consistent personality, you know, like each subsequent Ghostface is sort of imitating Ghostface. Although I don't know how they really, unless you experienced what the characters experienced, how do you really know how Ghostface was? But very consistent. Yeah. And I think Jason is awesome. Friday the 13th is probably the easiest slasher franchise to watch for sure. Jamie voted psychological, Fire Walk with Me, Midsummer, and The Witch. Oh man, The Witch is so good. There's a supernatural edge there too. I guess those two are pretty close, because I get what you're saying. I think that you can call The Witch psychological. And then I just think that whenever there's witchcraft, there is a touch of that supernatural in there. But yes, The Witch, I would say, is more psychological. And it's even like The Lighthouse. I don't know if you've seen The Lighthouse, Jamie, but that's very psychological, you know? And yeah, I haven't seen Fire Walk with Me, but I would say like the Twin Peaks kind of feel, that's your psychological for sure, with another little hint of supernatural. Supernatural's always trying to get its, you know, elbow in there, you know. I wish we got John Carpenter's Creature from the Black Lagoon. That would have been incredible. That would have been nice to see. Ashton says slasher, Halloween, Scream, CP. A Nightmare on Elm Street, you're next. What is CP? For whatever reason, I can't think of it right now. CP. I don't know. Tell me, Ashton. Show me. Johnny says, favorite subgenre is psychological. Manhunter from the 80s, Psycho, any Vincent Price film, really. I like the psychological subgenre for the mind games. I enjoy slashers, but more for fun. Yeah, that is that's very succinct. That is a good analysis there. Yeah. Man, Manhunter's really good. I love Manhunter so much. William Peterson back then, so fucking good. Oh, CP is Child's Play. It just now occurred to me. Jamie Hart says Halloween Ends is a psychological masterpiece. Yeah, some slasher elements, but yeah, I would say you are right, and I've never even thought of it that way, Jamie, but I love Halloween Ends. I have not even thought about it as being a psychological film, but why didn't I think of that? Too much time working on thumbnails. My Bloody Valentine 81, that's another good one. Midsommar fucked me up. I've never seen that one. Guys, don't hate me. I've never seen an Ari Aster film. I haven't seen Hereditary, Midsommar, Beau is Afraid, or Eddington. Are those the 4? So someone is going to have to make sure that I pop my Ari Aster cherry. Billy Judd says slasher, Halloween, Friday the 13th, Blood Rage, and Scream. You're a big Blood Rage fan, huh, Billy? I've never seen that movie. This Thanksgiving, I'll have to put that one on. I feel like I've seen so many people talking about it, especially after Thanksgiving, gained some popularity and kind of brought up that whole, brought up the discussion of what are some other Thanksgiving slasher movies we're missing out on or that aren't talked about enough. And Blood Rage seems like a good one. And, with these older movies, it's like I don't even mind kind of having everything sort of spoiled or doing some research before checking out the movie. Not everything's got to be totally fresh for me. Like I knew what was up with Sleepaway Camp. And then other movies like, what are some of the other classics? Pieces. I sort of knew what was up with Pieces, the original Silent Night, Deadly Night, all that stuff. Terror Train was a good slasher. Man, I've seen that they remade that one, didn't they? I've seen the original years ago. Oh my God, I was probably like 15 or 16. So it's been almost 30 years. So it's pretty much like I haven't seen it, right? Like I remember renting it with my friends and watching it with them. And I don't remember again, I've watched reviews of it and watched videos of people talking about it. So I know like the impetus, like the setup and everything. I don't remember exactly how everything shakes out. I will say this, guys, a movie that I watched last December that I really enjoyed, and we did a watch party here on the channel, New Year's Evil. I liked New Year's Evil. The soundtrack was fucking rocking, and I liked the whole like prank call sort of aspect of it as well. I enjoyed New Year's Evil. That's got to be brought up in slasher trash, hopefully, because that one's tough. Like that is a gritty, grimy slasher. Really enjoy New Year's Evil. Can't wait to talk about it this December. I'm gonna for sure be talking about that one. Maybe put together a review for it since we did a watch party last year. Psycho is overplayed. Psycho 2 is amazing. I still need to watch that. Another movie I've seen plenty of essays on, and it does seem like it's a superior film. Good old Tom Holland, huh? I'm full of my hot takes. I got him, Chester. Agree on Psycho 2. Psycho 2 kills off Leila Loomis. You're not alone in liking Peeping Tom over Psycho, Davey. I've never seen Peeping Tom, so I like Psycho more. Plus, Psycho was my mom's favorite. Well, I recommend checking out Peeping Tom if you guys are able to. If you've never watched it and you like slashers, especially if you like proto-slashers like Psycho. Psycho, Black Christmas. It's a very interesting story. Without spoiling anything, it's like you almost feel bad for like the villain of the piece. It's like a really sympathetic villain. And it's a really interesting social commentary because the main character is a photographer and a videographer. And you find out that when he was a child, his dad was like a research scientist that basically captured every moment of his upbringing. So imagine this, a movie that comes out in 1960, and it's about a grown man who, when he was a child, his dad like filmed every little bit of his childhood. And it's about what that can do to somebody. So we're talking ahead of its time by like 50, 60 years, right? Because we do see that now. And I'm not trying to call anyone out or make anyone feel bad. We see some people that blur out their kids' faces and don't share all that stuff. And then there's people that share everything when their kids are just little. You know, not my job to tell you what you can or can't do. It's your life and you're the parent. I'm not a parent, so I'm not going to sit here and like, you know, act like I can tell any parent to, you know, what's what. But it is really interesting to see that, you know, come across in a slasher film from 1960 as something that could potentially be damaging or just sort of give somebody a warped view of their own existence and the existence of others. Yeah, Peeping Tom, really, really smart stuff. Facci had a watch along of the original a couple years ago and it was fun. He had not seen the film and his reaction was great. Which one are you talking about there, Avery? Are you talking Psycho? I've heard that all the sequels are good. Yeah, I've heard they're all good. Pizza and tacos, that's a good combo. Aaron Click is in the house. What's happening, Aaron? So great to see ya. Yeah, Beehive Kill, that was my favorite. I dug that one quite a bit, yeah. I want to see if I can go on his channel and check his reaction first time watching the original Psycho. There you go. That must be what you're talking about. Michelle says I'm a big Halloween fan. Yes, Michelle loves Halloween. What's your favorite Halloween? So I'd imagine the first movie's your favorite, Michelle. If it's not, let me know. But what's your favorite other than the original? I'm curious to know. Jason will always be my number one, says Secret Dance Move. Hell yeah. Terror Train. Yeah, it's a fun one. Again, it's been almost 30 years. I should probably check it out again. Oh, well, I would hope so, Chester, since you have that lovely shot there of Michael as your icon. Yeah, love Michael Myers. Slashers aged best poll? Really? We're super decisive about the most recent big three. The new I Know What You Did Last Summer was poorly received. The newest Strangers was a dud. I say Psychological has weathered the best. Well, I hope you voted. We have 27 votes, so more people could vote, Aaron. You know, go tell a friend. Go tell a friend that's like-minded. Supernatural gets 0%. Holy shit. That is surprising to me because I consider Insidious, Sinister, the Conjuring movies, all of those to me are supernatural. They have psychological elements, but I would consider them straight up supernatural when you're doing a haunted house. The House of the Devil, the Innkeepers, supernatural. Yeah. Interesting. Because I think Supernatural's eating really, really well right now. And I would say that I like slow burn supernatural films, but there are the supernatural films that are coming out now, I think are a little more trim the fat kind of supernatural movies. We still get the slow burns, of course, you know, House of the Devil, Innkeepers. Yeah. But I'm surprised to see that Supernatural has 0 out of 27 votes. Not trying to call anyone out. I'm just surprised. I don't get a vote, so I don't get to put my, you know, finger on the scale either way. Let's see what else you guys are saying. I know I'm falling behind here. Yeah, The Witch is amazing. Oh, Jamie, The Lighthouse, I really like it. I had to have subtitles on it, but I put on subtitles for The Witch too. Just so you can really get everything. The Lighthouse is a mindfuck movie. It is, yeah. If you like psychological horror, and if you like Willem Dafoe, he's great. I think Robert Pattinson, I think that's the best performance I've seen from him. That's the movie where I was like, oh, this guy's going to kill it as Batman. Yeah. Let's see, guys, if I miss one of your chats that you really want me to read out there, if I just happen to miss it, feel free to put it in the chat again. I'm just going to try to catch up a little bit. Giallo slashers like Deep Red are amazing too. Yeah, Deep Red, Dress to Kill, Twitch of the Death Nerve, or what do they call it? A Bay of Blood, Blood and Black Lace, Tenebrae. Yeah, man, Deep Red's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite Giallos for sure. I do still need to see Hell Night. I've been watching, oh my God, guys, it's been Sleepaway Camp. I'm trying to catch up on Alien Earth, and the channel takes a lot of time. So that's why I'm just so appreciative of you guys also spending the time with me when I go live. And of course, you guys, you know, helping to reach those super chat goals and purchasing memberships and gifting memberships. Like, man, that just makes it every time. When I log off a live stream, guys, I keep on working because I'm just like, what's the next thing I can do? I've also been sharing on social media, you know, the Slasher Trash documentary and all that kind of stuff. So it's, you know, running a channel is kind of like a full-time job, but I'm really passionate about it, as I hope you guys can tell. So I still need to see Hell Night, and it is available on Shudder, so I'll be able to watch it. I have fun with slashers. Friday the 13th 80 being my favorite. Oh wow, I didn't know that was your number one slasher, Jamie. Scream and Nightmare coming in second and third. Oh wow, interesting. I don't know if I've ever heard somebody say that Friday the 13th, the original, is their favorite slasher. That's different and unique for sure. I mean, a lot of people that love that series wouldn't even put it in the top 3, you know, maybe top 5. A lot of people, I think, wouldn't put it in the top 3. Interesting. I like that take. Especially in the OG Halloween, because that could really happen. I think that's, you know, and the OG Halloween is slasher. It's also psychological, right? You know, it's got that edge, kind of like Psycho, where it could happen. You know, granted, you know, Michael getting shot 6 times and walking away. Clearly, Carpenter's intent with that is that it was supposed to be, you know, metaphorical for like, you can't kill evil. But everything else in that movie is very realistic and creepy. I appreciate the creepy real life aspects of Halloween, the movie, every time I watch it. Yeah. Oh, Pumpkin King, I'm going to make you so sad. I'm a huge Halloween Ends fan. But even cooler that you still support the channel knowing that. I totally get why people don't like it. You know, the people that don't like it explain themselves very well. And so if the whole idea of the evil transferring to somebody else doesn't jive with you super well, then yeah, Halloween Ends is going to be a rough one for you. But guys, last year I did a live stream series called How to Make It Better. I'd like to do that with a whole bunch of movies, but I did one each for the David Gordon Green films. And I'm going to do, for this spooky season, I'm going to put together a pre-recorded version of that. So you're going to get a Halloween 2018 How to Make It Better pre-recorded video, and then Kills, and then Ends. And then I'm curious to see what you guys would want me to cover from there. And I like all those movies, so I think that's kind of the fun trick of it all. It would be tough to jump in and be like, How to Make It Better with Freddy's Dead. Because, like, I would just be like, well, change the whole friggin' thing. So the idea would be like, pick a movie that I really like or that I am pretty favorable on and see what kind of tweaks would make it better. I'm not going to spoil any of that, but Pumpkin King, you might be interested in that series once I get it going. I'm planning on putting those out in September, so I got to start writing my scripts and shooting soon. Yeah, H2 score is awesome. Yeah. Let's see here. Alice Sweet Alice, that's a really good one. Yeah. There you go. Not the fight we were promised. Yeah. It is out of left field. I'll say one last thing on Halloween Ends, and I know a lot of you guys have heard me say it. It's odd because Halloween Ends, and this is part of some of the things I would change, is I would probably change the names of the movies, because Halloween Ends is not the end of the trilogy. Does that make sense? Because it's Halloween 78, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills. That's the trilogy. Halloween Ends is the 4th film. It is the anthology story. A lot of people are like, oh, I just wish it was an anthology story because it's really not like the true ending. And you're right, it's not. Halloween Kills is the end. They think they've got Michael beaten. He slaughters all of them. He kills Laurie Strode's daughter, and he's gone. And then Halloween Ends really is the anthology story of that evil being passed from Michael, because he's like, literally his batteries are drained and he passes the evil on. But they do make it kind of confusing, because then at the end of the movie, there he is fighting Laurie Strode. So yeah, I think there are plenty of legit gripes for the people that don't like Halloween Ends. I would just implore them to watch it more than once. Yeah, what is it, like 80 or 81 or something like that? Yeah, a lot of the gore is kind of after the fact, right? There's a lot of like people finding bodies and stuff. Oh, I didn't see The Home. I didn't see The Home. I have a tough time with Pete Davidson. I do. Let me see here. I know I'm really far behind. Holy cow, we got Jeff from John Doe Juggalo in the chat. I thought you would be at the gathering this week. My buddy Bradley Johnson from up in Juneau, Alaska is out at the gathering. Jeff says, good evening, Davey. I've been lurking and listening for a bit now. Hope you're well this evening. I hope you're doing well also, Jeff. Really appreciate you jumping on in. Guys, I love Jeff's channel over there, John Doe Juggalo. If you're a big physical media person, I think you would really dig John Doe Juggalo, the channel. He's always like finding really good stuff, adding to his collection. Jeff has a really nice voice. Very much appreciate what he brings to YouTube. Pumpkin King says Trick or Treat, the anthology movie, right? We got to get a sequel to that one. Where would you put that? I guess that one's supernatural, right? Because maybe there's like one story that has some slasher elements. Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm really hungry. I'm going to take a bite of my pizza. I know this is super rude. Give me a pizza emoji if you hate that I'm eating pizza right now. Oh, yeah. I didn't really get to eat dinner. I know, Amanda, I promised you I would eat dinner. I had like half a slice of pizza before jumping in here. Trick or Treat. Supernatural, right? And hope there's been talk for years about getting a sequel to that. I really hope we do. Guys, I'll take all the horror anthologies you got, especially set around Halloween time. That's amazing. You could sit like you could just, how many of those could you watch in a row? You know, not having to worry about an hour and a half to 2 hour like one story movie, just being able to get like 3 or 4 stories in each film. Really, really good stuff. You know what's interesting is I haven't seen anyone mention Terrifier. I'm kind of surprised. I know we've got a little bit of like I know there are a lot of people that are kind of my age, you know, 30s, 40s, and a few people that are above that. So maybe it is us kind of like older heads that, you know, we don't celebrate the Terrifier stuff as much as others. But I guess I am surprised because I do think Art is a very, I mean, the look of Art the Clown is incredible. Like it's such a good look and creepy as all get out. So I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen anyone mention Terrifier here, you know? Maybe everyone's thinking about The Conjuring, The Devil, maybe do it. Yeah, but all the other ones, right? The first 2 Conjurings are really good. I've never seen the sequel to Sinister, but that first Sinister was awesome. I've seen the first 2 Insidious movies. I thought they were both really good. I don't know. I think that's a pretty solid subgenre. But yeah, that reminds me to go ahead and check on this one. I'm going to go ahead and end this poll, guys. So 30 votes. Let's take a look at the results. And I do have, I think, another poll for you. Just one more here that we'll throw in there. So yeah, guys, 31 votes. Slasher wins with 67%. Psychological gets second place with 29%. And Supernatural with just 3% of the votes. I am so surprised to see that Supernatural is getting such a small amount of the votes. Oh my gosh, this thing. Please excuse the shaking of the camera, guys. My wireless keyboard does not want to play nice, okay? If you had to choose, or if you had to live in one horror universe, so like one of these subgenres, which would you choose? Gosh, I don't know. That's a tough one. I can't believe you guys are voting for slasher. I think I would die in the slasher universe. I don't think I would live very long. So okay, guys, we've talked about like your favorites, you know, your favorite subgenre, your favorite villains, all that kind of stuff. What about like, you know, when we've talked about the classics? So what about some of these modern, you know, modern slashers, modern supernatural movies, and modern psychological movies, you know? And I guess with modern, I'm saying just anything within the last, let's say like 20 years, you know, this last generation, essentially. So I'm curious to know, yeah, which one of those, and also just sort of like, what are some of the tropes you like and what are some of the tropes you don't like? For example, if maybe you're not the hottest fan of slashers or something like that, or maybe, for those of you folks that said that supernatural horror, or for everyone that didn't vote for supernatural as far as like that it's aged the best, what are the tropes, like what are the tenets of supernatural horror where you're just like, ugh, I'm over it, like this subgenre is just not for me. So I'm curious to know those things. What are some of the modern horror hits from your favorite subgenre, and what are some of the tropes in your least favorite subgenres that kind of keeps you away? Curious to know. Very, very curious to know. And let's see what else we got here. Here's another good question to ask you guys. Do you guys believe in ghosts? Do you believe in ghosts? And for you psychological people, which psychological horror messed with your head the most? I saw some Midsommar kind of in there. I'm curious to know if there are any others that I might be missing. Man, Session 9. I know that movie is not like, maybe not as big as, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of maybe not underrated, but just not talked about very much. But man, that movie was a big ol' mind fuck for me, for sure. Yeah, I guess aged well just means like as the time has gone on, like which one's like getting better. And I guess it means both, Avery. It kind of does mean, is the subgenre, did it age well from do the classics still look good, and where are we at now as opposed to where we began? Are we still on a good upward trajectory? Is that subgenre still delivering the kind of scares and thrills that we want from horror films, Yeah, I don't know if I saw that third one. Oh, was the third one The Devil Made Me Do It? Sinister is definitely one of my favorite recent supernatural horrors. Yeah, the first two Conjurings, that Sinister movie, man, Ethan Hawke in Sinister, and just the way they shot that movie, the, long shots without edits, they just really build that tension and that dread. Sleepaway Camp, there's psychological elements because of what Angela went through. I would consider it a slasher because there's like all of the slashing in there, Paula, but I think there is a psychological element for sure. No supernatural element, but yes, Angela's been psychologically damaged by her psychologically damaged aunt. Yeah, Sinister is really good. It's, Sinister's a cool, like, so when people are like, oh, why did they remake Poltergeist? Like, it's such a great movie. And it's like, yes, you don't have to remake Poltergeist. You know what you do? Is you do something like Sinister, which now Sinister is like 15 years old, something like that. So it's like you do something like Sinister, which is close enough, right? Think about Poltergeist and think about Sinister. Very similar elements. Now they both take like different approaches of how they deal with it, but the whole idea of like a child going to the other side and the parents trying to like rescue them, that's the foundation of both of those movies. And in Sinister, you didn't hear people talking like, oh, Sinister is just a friggin' like remake, ripoff of Poltergeist, because it was different enough. It stood out enough. And then I haven't even watched that Poltergeist remake. Why? Why would I watch it? I don't know. I mean, I like Sam Rockwell as an actor, but why would I watch it when I can just put on the original and get everything I want from it, It's all I want. Johnny says, what is Duncan's favorite subgenre? I'm not sure. Little Dunky is, he's with my nephew. My nephew went back to school. So he goes to school in the Antelope Valley in California, just, west of LA. Is it west of LA? North of LA, right? There it is. Yeah. North of LA, I believe. Maybe it's northeast. Yeah. The Valley. There we go. I think I'm figuring it out. Amanda, let me know. I think it's northeast. And so Duncan's back there. I don't know what Duncan prefers. I'd think that he would be a slasher fan because he's just so energetic and bouncing off the walls. The Black Phone is supernatural and psychological, probably more so supernatural. Yes, I would say so. The sequel looks to be like it'll be very supernatural. Yeah, it looks like it's leaning so much further into that. I'd say it's almost a 50-50 split with the first movie, Avery. I'm really looking forward to the Black Phone 2. And guys, I think that we are going to get, now they might release it online beforehand, but I think right around that time, you know, what Black Phone 2 is like mid-October. I think we're going to get a Scream teaser right around then, mid-October, just to get whet people's appetite right before Halloween. And then, you know, traditionally the older Scream movies would come out in December. The new Scream 7's coming out in February. So I think in December, you know, second week of December, something like that, I think we're going to get a full trailer then. So I know we're not really talking about Scream right this moment, but the Black Phone made me think of it. And I'm very much looking forward to the Black Phone 2. Oh, there you go. You and Jamie got that in common. That's awesome. And you might have said that before, Aaron, and I just, you know, I read a lot of comments and I talk quite a bit. So if I had forgotten that, my apologies, sir. Interesting. I tell people to skip the original Friday the 13th and go straight to part 2 because it has 10-minute fire camp. Yeah, well, that's true. If you just want to get to Jason, the very first Friday the 13th movie I saw was the first movie. And I was about 9 years old. It was on the USA Network, so edited for television, so safe for little Davey to see. And I'm sitting there where, oh, that's Jason. Like seeing the hand move the branches across. I have no idea about Pamela. Genuinely surprised to find out that it was not Jason. And I like talking to my siblings and telling my parents about it. And they're like, why are you watching this? I'm like, it's on TV. It's okay. But it was one of those Friday the 13th weekends where they just showed like 4 of the movies rotating on USA Network. So it's interesting for me, Secret Dance moves, like or Secret Dance move, sorry, singular. I would say if you're an adult and you just want to get to the Jason stuff, okay, start with part 2, sure. I think at some point you should watch the original. The original does have a little bit of that giallo kind of feel, even though it's not a black-gloved killer. I think it does feel very like Italian influenced, very, very much like a Bay of Blood. If you've seen a Bay of Blood and you've seen Friday the 13th 80, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, I really like the first one. I like the second one too. It was good. Rubber bullets on Michael. Bay of Blood, there you go. I think I'm going to skip ahead. It is a slasher, and I think giallos are slashers. And I think American movies can be giallo. I think when people like say that it's got to be Italian, like that's stupid. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, yeah, the word giallo is an Italian word, and most of the movies that are in the subgenre, they are Italian. But also, like Brian De Palma's Dress to Kill is a giallo movie, absolutely, like 100%. And I'm trying to Maxine is a giallo movie. I don't know. They just are. They just are. I'm calling it right now. Go ahead and eat, says Michelle. I'd like to see you and Davey do a live stream together. We did a couple Evil Dead streams. Yeah, so we did that twice. And we're going to have Jamie back. We're going to talk about Twin Peaks and all that kind of stuff. Who is Amanda, and why would you promise her to eat dinner? Because I'm notorious for not eating before I go on a stream. That's why. Some people just know me, and they know my habits. Yeah, my buddy tried to get me to go. I'm like, well, I'm not really. I would be so out of place there because I only know like a handful of songs off The Great Malenko. That's all I know. So I would be like the non-juggalo hanging out at the gathering, and everyone would be like, well, what the fuck's up with this dude? No, I'm sure they would be beautiful. I would imagine they're really great people. For real. No weirdness there. Yeah, there are some bangers in Supernatural, yeah. I remember liking it just... Oh, Sinister 2. Gotcha. Sinister and Insidious, they're almost like the same friggin' like... Same letters and shit. Yeah, I've not seen Sinister 2. I heard it is not... It's one of those things, like, that really should have been a one-off, you know? It's kind of tough. And I didn't like the way they tried to do the cheap jump scare at the end of the original Sinister, but I'm not going to let it ruin the movie. Okay, I'm going to check in on this latest poll. Sinister is the scariest movie I've ever seen, says Matt Facci of Facci Cinema. What's happening? One of our great Death Squad mods. And guys, Tuesday, August 19th, I am going to be on Facci Cinema. We are going to do a live Friday the 13th ranking, and we will be including Sweet Revenge in the ranking. So I know Matt's got the stream built. It doesn't say anything about me. Matt, I'm guessing I'm still invited to the stream though, but you can set the notification right now. So if you go over to Facci Cinema, make sure you're subscribed over there, and you can set the notification for that stream so you don't miss that one. Facci and I always have a blast hanging out together. He's, you know, one of the best people I've met through YouTube, and a good friend. Can't wait for it. Aaron says Silence of the Lambs might have messed with me most of the psychological horror, but it did so in a very non-overt, classy way. Yeah. It is. That's a good one. Yeah. I've seen people argue over whether Saw franchise is psychological or slasher. I think there's both elements for sure. Yeah, I think what Jigsaw does to people is there's a psychological element of having to make that decision. And there's the psychological element of the reason why Jigsaw goes after certain people is because of the way they are and the dirty habits or bad things that they do. So that's the psychological side. And then, of course, yeah, you do get your slasher. You do get, you know, you can call it your torture or whatever, but I think that sort of falls into the slasher realm. I think you get both. I do, yeah. Oh, Ed and Lorraine Warren, they were living in Connecticut. I did not know that. Wait, what did I miss here? You got to meet them, Pumpkin King? Ed and Lorraine Warren were very nice people, and I got to talk with them in 2005. Very interesting. You know, I learned about them. My dad got me a Reader's Digest book when I was a kid that was about UFOs and like unexplained phenomenon. And there was a little section in there about psychics and about people that research the paranormal and aliens and all that stuff. And there was a little section on Ed and Lorraine Warren. Oh, you're not going to get any argument from me on that one. I absolutely love the Prowler. I'm such a Prowler stan. You know, I'm probably the one that's overhyping it for everyone else. Everyone watches the Prowler and they're like, fuck, Davey Deathray said this is awesome. This is slow as shit. But it's really good. I really like the Prowler. Duncan's favorite horror movie is probably Cat's Eye. There you go. Terror Train watch along. That one sucked. I'm reminiscing about that. Okay, let me catch up all the way. There we go. Thank you for sharing that, Brooke. Really appreciate you. Pumpkin King, thank you so much for hanging out. Yeah, reach out to me through email. Let me know what I can give you as far as a little voice memo. I can send something over your way. Even if you're joking, then that's totally cool too. But if you ever wanted something like that, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much for your generosity and your super chats. I hope you have a great rest of your night. And seriously, reach back out to me and let me know, even if there's like a movie you want me to talk about or something you want me to watch for a watch party. You've given so much. So, you know, if I can do anything other than to continue doing what I'm doing, don't hesitate to reach out, bud. Take care. Davey, do you consider Halloween 2 slasher or supernatural? I'd say slasher. I mean, Michael has unexplained supernatural elements, but you know, it's a slasher above everything else for sure. Yeah, friggin' Pumpkin King, man. The man. Okay, let's see how this poll is doing. Gosh, guys, this stream has just been flying by, an hour and a half. Amazing. Amazing. Let me see here. Okay. So right here, if you had to live in one horror universe or subgenre, which would you choose? We got 19 votes. How many people do we have in the chat? Has everybody voted here that's hanging out with us? It says we have 25 people watching along right now. Guys, go ahead and vote, and I'll close that poll here. And then we can see if we've got anything else to chat about as far as... I've got even more questions I can ask you guys. I got even more. There we go. Ooh, we got some polls. Ooh, movie matchups. We could do something fun like that. I want to close out the poll, and I will put in another poll here. So just 19 votes. Okay, I'm going to close it out, guys, because I want to get going on the next one. So let's see here. 19 votes. Slasher wins. 68% of you want to live in a slasher. Are you serious? I mean, you're way more likely to stay alive longer in supernatural and psychological, but whatever. Whatever. The math is mathing here. I'm guessing there's some decimals that aren't showing. Because it's 68% for slasher, supernatural and psychological tied with 15% of the 19 votes. And let's go ahead and start another fun poll. Guys, are you liking the polls? Do you like the, being able to stay interactive here? I'm curious to know. Just let me know. Ooh, here we go. This is a fun one. Let's punch this one in here. Oh, come on. Boom, boom, boomity boom, and a shoomity shop. That's right. Just a bunch of gibberish here from my end. There we go, guys. Brand new poll up in the chat. Which horror subgenre is most overrated? Slasher going to win this one too. Slasher's going to be the favorite and also the most overrated. I'm banking on that right now. Gaslight from the 1940s is a really good really great psychological movie. I've never heard of that one. Would you consider doing Final Destination Bloodlines for a movie watch? Well, what is it available on? Is it available on Max? Paula, usually I try to do movies that are either available for free on YouTube or they're on like multiple platforms. Like if you can watch it on Peacock, Prime, Hulu. I want people to be able to watch along with us. So I usually try to not do movies that are so new. But what we could do, Paula, is I could throw a poll out there to all of you guys on the channel. If you go to the posts or you go to the community section and look at that, I could find a handful of newer horror movies, right? And I could be like, hey guys, all of these movies are available to watch on HBO Max. And we could do something that's more modern, something that's newer. I don't know. Guys, what do you think of Paula's idea here? Do you want to do a watch party for something newer like Final Destination? Maybe throw in some movies that have come out, 2023 through 2025, something like that? The polls keep it interactive. There you go. Like the polls, says Amanda. Paula likes it. Michelle likes it. Awesome. Aaron digs it too. Well, and that's the really cool thing. That's, one of the things I love about hanging out with you guys, and I know I talk about it all the time. I don't want it to ever be forgotten. It's like I love sharing the time with you guys. And there's plenty of channels that I hop onto, and there's nothing wrong with the channels that sometimes they have thousands of people watching them or hundreds of people watching, and you can't click on every single chat and all that stuff. But I love giving you guys the platform too. I'm a big fan of that. Sweet. You guys love the polls. I voted for the tire. So that would fall under Supernatural, Jamie. So that's what I would put that one under. And since Michelle didn't mind if I eat, I'm going to have another bite. Oh yeah. Free on Max and on Amazon. Yeah, Walking Dead's bad, in my opinion. I don't like it. But I'm a big Romero fan, guys, so I'm very the zombie movies I love. I don't love every single zombie movie. It's like the Romero movies, other than Survival of the Dead. I even like Diary of the Dead. Dead Alive, I love Dead Alive. Return of the Living Dead. So a lot of them are older. Like newer zombie movies, I think, the 2004 Dawn of the Dead remake is probably my most recent favorite. Train to Busan, I thought was pretty good too. But yeah, dime a dozen on the zombie films, unfortunately. There's some of my Day of the Dead's one of my favorite movies of all time, but doesn't mean every single zombie movie's great, that's for sure. Yeah. Let's see here. Do a modern flick. Okay, we could do that, guys. Let me take a look. I don't think I have HBO Max. Hey, if somebody wants to share their HBO Max login with me, then we can get it going. Chose Supernatural, Seed of Chucky, Leprechaun in Space, Freddy's Dead. Yeah. Yeah, those have slasher elements, but I know what you mean. They've got that supernatural vibe too. And they really, I get what you're saying there, Johnny, because the supernatural like really pushes gets really pushed in those sequels. Yeah, I was wondering about that because I heard that that's where the term came from. Guys, if you're out there gaslighting people, stop it. Not that anyone that is gaslighting would ever like admit to it or stop it, because it's a manipulative tactic, and most people that are manipulative would never let that go, never let that control go, or that the feeling of control go, or the illusion of control go. Also, guys, if you have people in your lives that are gaslighting you, fuck all that noise. Tell them to piss off. Get them the hell out of your life. Trust me, once you let them know what's going on, they will take off their mask, and they'll probably exit your life themselves because they can't get what they want from you anymore. Trust me, I know from very, very personal experience. Let's see here. Don't get me wrong, I like zombie stuff, but it's everywhere. Yeah, true. Yeah. I do like the Romero movies and Return of the Living Dead, but mostly I skip the zombie stuff. Are you a Dead Alive fan, Jamie? Oh my God, pizza's amazing. I could eat pizza every day. Yep. If I had to pick one thing to eat, because there's so many different varieties: flat crust, deep dish, stuffed crust, stuffed pizza, which is kind of like deep dish, but a little bit different. Sicilian. I could go on. Yeah, pizza's the best. Down is up. 76 says Romero zombies only for me. I love the Romero zombie movies, except for Survival of the Dead. I'll never watch that one again. Never watch that one again. I guess, yeah, Last of Us. I don't know much about it. I never played the game or watched the show, but it sounds like zombies to me, essentially, yeah. Antelope Valley is 60 miles north of LA, and just to tie in horror, Part of the Hills Have Eyes. The original was filmed nearby in Victorville. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, I think my nephew lives in Lancaster. And my buddy DJ Woods, who played drums in a band I was in called Absent Minds in Portland, he was from Lancaster as well. I like Dead Alive because it's obvious or absolutely nuts, says Jamie Hart. I saw it in the theater. Oh, I bet you did. And it's not the first time you mentioned that one, Jamie. And it just drives me crazy because I'm so jealous of you. Well, yeah, any sort of, I think, yeah, gaslighting is anytime it is a form of manipulation. Yeah, you can be manipulative and not be gaslighting, but I think most people who gaslight, or I think most people who are manipulative definitely gaslight. And the person that I'm talking about, from my past certainly did want to make me feel like I was the problem and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And that I was losing it. Yeah. No Survival of the Dead watch party. I don't think so. I don't know if I could bring myself to watch that one again. It really broke my heart because I didn't want to feel that way about a Romero film, Really didn't want to feel that way about a Romero film. Yeah. So let's see here. Oh my gosh, Ashton. I think it's on YouTube for free. Ashton, if you like bonkers, bloody, gory, fun movies, like tongue-in-cheek, hilarious, Evil Dead 2 kind of style, Return of the Living Dead sort of style as well, Dead Alive. My second favorite zombie movie of all time. Peter Jackson's second movie. I think probably my favorite Peter Jackson movie over, Frighteners or any of the Lord of the Rings, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I saw Jamie seeing that in the theater. So I'm going to jump in and check the poll here, guys. So 14 votes so far. Oh, you guys are not rocking the vote any longer tonight. 28 people and only half of you have voted. Come on, folks. Oh, yeah, they're definitely going to do that. Yeah. Stalkers are going to gaslight for sure. They get to be at arm's length and all that stuff. Make you think that maybe they're not there kind of thing. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Yeah, it can be somebody that's directly in your life that gaslights you, or it can be somebody that wants to remain anonymous. Would Alien Earth be considered a psychological film TV show, Davey? I've only seen one episode. I mean, it's science fiction, so I would say like that's kind of jumping into the supernatural realm. Because while aliens may exist, I highly doubt they're like xenomorphs. So I would say that's supernatural for sure. Something like 2001: A Space Odyssey would be more like a psychological kind of science fiction film with some horror elements also. So guys, maybe I'll just ask you a few questions here just to sort of like, you know, kick up some dust here in the chat. Let's see. Guys, best final girl. Who you got? You guys a Laurie Strode kind of final girl? Nancy Thompson? Ripley from Alien? That she counts as a final girl. Sienna from Terrifier? Trying to think of some other really great final girls that we've got, and especially trying to think more so of like franchises. Sydney Prescott. Who's your favorite final girl? Very, very curious to know. And let's see here. I'm trying to think of another one to ask you guys. Let's see. What do we have? I think that's it for right now. We haven't talked about Final Girls yet. And Final Girls can be in all of these franchises, right? I mean, even so there's Kirsty from Hellraiser, you know, and I would say that's like a supernatural horror movie or horror franchise with some psychological elements, but mostly supernatural. And then we can even, like, if you want to be a final guy, kind of guy or gal, Ash Williams, Jesse from Freddy's Revenge, you know, best like final character. But we can kind of focus on the ladies here. We haven't really given the ladies their spotlight and talked about final girls here. I don't know if we've ever had like a final girl, like a real final girl kind of conversation or discussion here on the channel. I don't think I've done a stream about final girls. So yeah, curious to know what you guys think. Either, you know, if it is a one-off, let me know. I think the franchise ones are going to be a little bit easier to talk about, but put what you got there in the chat for sure. And let's see if we got more votes here. We have 16 votes. Which horror subgenre is most overrated? Supernatural is winning with 44%. Slasher second place with 38%, and psychological with 19%. Coming in third, so it seems like, yeah, the psychological movies, usually it's more well-earned, right? Those movies don't make as many, they're not churning out as much like crap in psychological. That kind of makes sense to me, for sure. Okay, I'm going to scroll back. Oh, you guys are very active on the Final Girl talk. I love it. I love it so much. Let's see here. Jaws and the Terminator are considered slashers to some. Yeah, I would say, yeah, Jaws is kind of like a creature feature sort of thing. It's got horror elements. I think of it as so much more than just that, but I think you can consider it horror. And yeah, the first act of the Terminator feels very slasher. The rest of it sort of feels different to me. The second and third act feel like something totally different, you know, science fiction. I guess like if you're going to consider it a horror, then maybe it is something a little more on the supernatural side, just because of the, you know, the advanced robotics. Let's see here. Ashton says Sydney Prescott, favorite final girl. Brooke, Sydney Prescott. Paula, Sydney Prescott. Oh my goodness. Jamie with Nancy Thompson says she's my favorite, and Ginny coming in at a close second. Yeah, a lot of people really love Nancy for sure. I'm not lukewarm. Well, maybe I'm lukewarm on A Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, I think it's good. It's fine. I think Nancy's great, but it is tough to to lift her up so high when I'm so lukewarm on the franchise. But yeah, Heather Langenkamp just kills it. Ginny's awesome. And Amy Steele was so sweet when I met her and got her to sign my Jason mask there. Those are all great final girls. Laurie Strode for Avery. Chester throwing out Chris from Friday the 13th Part 3. All right. I know, yeah, that's kind of a fan favorite. not just that movie, but I hear a lot of people, I think Nick from the Lost River Drive-In really loves Chris as well. Ashton says Sydney, Aaron, Ripley, Sienna, Lori, in that order. Aaron. What movie is Aaron from? Is that, are we talking like You're Next? Is that what that is? Ashton? Let me know. Let me know. Any from the Friday movies? Yeah. I wish Judy Aronson lived so I could say she was my favorite final girl. Aaron says, I think Ripley might be. She's going up against aliens. Quite the high bar. Yes. She's really smart. You know, I love, especially in the first Alien movie, that she's the protocol officer. So it's more about like the smarts and analyzing situations more so than anything else. But she's also, there is a physical toughness that's there as well. And especially we see that her smarts, you know, she's brain and brawn put together in a time where, not to say they weren't, like, I think there were plenty of strong female characters. Like, you guys know me, I think it's total bullshit when they try to act like we're finally in the era where black people and women are getting good roles. Like, I think that's such bullshit. And I think it really undercuts the people that were doing it when it actually was less common and a little tougher. Because now I think there are production companies that are actively like trying to do that, regardless of whether or not it benefits the story. And so Ripley came along at a time, the original Aliens in 1979. The 70s were kind of like that era where that sort of kicked off with like Charlie's Angels and, Princess Leia, you know, some really strong forward-facing female characters. And then we get Ripley at the tail end of the 70s, and even more so in Aliens. I think she's even better in that movie as far as being a final girl, for sure. Yeah, a really good template kind of moving forward. And I think Aaron, I think she gets forgotten about, because when people think final girls, they don't necessarily think of the Alien franchise, because they think of those as science fiction movies, but there are horror elements, and you can certainly have a final girl in an action movie or a sci-fi movie. It doesn't just have to be horror. Yeah, Ginny is great. Laurie Strode. Which version of Laurie do you guys like? So for those of you who said Laurie is your favorite, is it first movie Laurie? Is it H2O Laurie? Is it David Gordon Green Laurie? Or maybe you're kind of like me and you think that the Scout Taylor Compton version of Laurie is like, to me, I think that's the best performance of Laurie, specifically Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. But I do like her in H2O. That's one of the parts about H2O I really like, is the interpretation of Laurie there. And I like her in the David Gordon Green trilogy. I don't think I like I think they were sort of confused about where to take the character in those movies. And maybe the pandemic sort of like was a bump in the road on having that be consistent and congruent. We need more final guys, says Avery. I mean, we got Tommy Jarvis is a great final guy. I think maybe the best right there. Ash Williams. How do you not love Ash Williams from The Evil Dead? Lionel from Dead Alive. That's another good final guy. Jesse from Freddy's Revenge. I'm kind of lukewarm. I used to love Freddy's Revenge, and the more I watch those movies, the more I find myself falling in love with like part 4 is sort of pushing Freddy's Revenge back, because I'm like an original Dream Warriors, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, then part 4. That's sort of like my top 4. So I guess just with ranking wise, I would say I'm relatively lukewarm on Freddy's Revenge. But Jesse, big time final guy for sure. The Black Phone got a final guy. The Saw series, there's gotta be, I've only seen like the first 3, but there's final guys in that too, right? Aren't there? There've gotta be. Ray from the first 2 I Know What You Did Last Summers. You got both of them, final guy, final girl. You've even got some final guys that make it out of Thanksgiving. Randy from Scream, at least from the first Scream. They're there. Johnny says our best final girl for me is Alice from Friday the 13th, because her and Mrs. Voorhees really went at it in the original. Yeah, that's a good pick. Josh Hartnett from H2O, final guy. Sidney Prescott, Billy. Ash Williams is the ultimate final guy. Ginny, Ash is the GOAT, says Ashton. Is Susie in Sleepaway Camp a final girl? I don't even remember who Susie is. Susie one of the older counselors? I don't know if I would consider a final girl because she's just not really focused on. Barbie Benton was a good one. Final girl from the movie X-Ray. I've never seen that one. Nancy set booby traps. That's badass. That's true. That's true. Before Home Alone, there was Nancy. Jamie, Nancy, Ginny. Down is up. Jamie from Halloween 4. Megan from Part 6. Yeah, you guys know I love Megan. Oh my God, she is such a spitfire. She is so cute, so hot, so much fun. I love her and Tommy together. That's relationship goals right there, is Tommy Jarvis and Megan. What's Megan's last name? Gosh, why can't I remember the last name? Because it's Sheriff. What's the sheriff's name in Part 6? Somebody let me know. What's the sheriff's name in Jason Lives? Aaron is your next. Okay, I thought so, yeah. Mia from the Evil Dead remake. There you go. Ben Grimm, welcome on into the chat. Yeah, that's a really good one, man. I love that Evil Dead 2013. I think it's such a great movie. Man, Jane Levy is such an impressive performer. Between like just seeing her in Don't Breathe and Evil Dead, I'm like, I'd put her in anything. I want her to come back to Evil Dead so bad. I wouldn't even mind if Fede Alvarez came on back to Evil Dead. I think that would be really fun, especially now that we're getting more of these Evil Dead movies. Just come on back, make a little quick something. Like, damn, Evil Dead 2013, second favorite in the franchise for me, right next to the original. And RU Cody has been a member for 3 months, sharing that amazing membership chat. Congratulations on 3 months of membership, and thank you so much, Cody. Says first Laurie Strode, second is Sydney Prescott, and third Tree Goodman from Happy Death Day. Top 3 final girls. Also, what's up, Davey in chat? Oh, you know, we're just doing a little slasher or a subgenre showdown. So slasher, supernatural, and psychological. You know, guys, I've never seen the Happy Death Day movies. I've got to watch those. Never seen them. Congrats on 3 months of membership, Cody. And you got a good solid list there, man. We got Ralphus Shenanigans jumping on in. Welcome to the chat, Ralphus. I feel like I've seen you in here before, so welcome back. Kirsty Cotton, yes, from Hellraiser. A great supernatural horror franchise. I mean, especially those first two. I think the third one's pretty good too. I just love that first movie so much. That's my favorite, when it's a little more contained. And I know it gets a little more supernatural later on, but yeah, Kirsty is a great character. I think she's just in the first two. And then do they bring Ashley Lawrence back later? I'm not sure if she plays Kirsty, but I feel like she gets brought back later. I think the actress from Friday the 13th Part 5 is a pretty good final girl. Melanie Kinnaman, I think is her name. Ripley was a badass. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll take all the Sigourney Weaver you got. I just absolutely love her as a performer. You know, big part of my childhood watching the movies that she was in. And it's not just the Alien movies, you know, I think, man, Galaxy Quest, I think she's really good in that. She is, she's a smoke show. Like Sigourney Weaver, that Heartbreakers movie with Jennifer Love Hewitt. Sigourney Weaver's still really hot in that one too. Alexandra Daddario. Oh, wow. Yeah, now you're making the pants tight. Down is up. Now you're making the pants tight. Those icy blue eyes that Alexandra has, and that fantastic. I know, guys, it's going to get a little male chauvinist pig here. Oink, oink. Her rack. Oh, my God. On that tiny frame. So big. They sit so high and proud. Oh my goodness. Yeah, she is. I mean, she really is absolutely gorgeous. I will watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D just for her. She's also in an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia that I quite enjoy. And I think she's popped up in a couple other things. I haven't seen her in everything she's been in, but oh my God, I would watch her in anything. I do everything to her. I mean, I do anything for her. Yeah. Now I can't stop thinking about Alexandra Daddario. Wow. Whew. Lori from H2O is my favorite version. Yeah. OG Lori. All right. First Halloween. You can keep the whole Evil Dies Tonight. They certainly could have cut out some of that repetitious dialogue, repetitive dialogue, rather. Love 78 and H2O Lori. Friday the 13th, Part 6, one of my favorites. That's my favorite Friday the 13th film, for sure. Yeah. Dewey can be considered a final guy, for sure. Jennifer Aniston from Leprechaun, absolutely. Yes, Ash rules. Love Bruce Campbell. Love him to death. You're absolutely right, Avery. Yeah, it's not very much, it's not nearly as common. Yeah. I'm a broken record with this statement, says Aaron, but the Nightmare on Elm Street limit, the most Wes Craven involvement are the three best. You mean the Nightmare on Elm Street's with the most, right? Yeah, OG, Dream Warriors, and New Nightmare. Yeah, for sure. Trish in Part 4 was pretty good. I do like Trish, yeah. I know that's a big one. I don't think Cody's still in the chat, but that's one that Cody Snyder really loves. Chalice from Halloween 3, yeah. He's a final guy. His mustache makes a best final mustache. That's for sure. Yeah, the actress's name is Jennifer Cook. I was curious to know what the Garris. Thank you so much. I knew it was like some sort of. I knew it was something with a G. Thank you so much, Brooke. Yeah, Megan Garris. Davey, Jane Levy does a small cameo in The Return. Oh, cool. I think you're going to be surprised at the cameos. Hell yeah. And I know she was on that show called like Zoe's Infinite Playlist or whatever, which I'm sure is very charming because Jane Levy's super charming. I'm going to have another bite of food. This is the bonus part of the stream, is you guys getting to watch me eat. How do you like that? Sally from Texas Chainsaw. There you go. Jamie loves Happy Death Day. Man, she really gets put through it. Yeah. Her and Stretch, yeah. Yeah, I got to check out Happy Death Day. At least got to watch the first one, and they're doing a third one now. Yeah, it would have been cool if Randy lived. If you only do 3 movies, I get killing him in the second movie because it actually hurts and there's some stakes. But yeah, would have been cool to be able to bring him back. I get shit for this, but I always thought Dewey or Gale should have died in Scream 2 and Randy should have lived. Well, they got that whole Dewey and Gale getting back together thing, but I see what you're saying. Yeah. Sigourney Weaver's beauty is more of a natural beauty. She's rarely super dolled up. Yeah. Yeah, I think the most dolled up I've ever seen her is Heartbreakers. And granted, she's older when that movie was made. I don't know how old, probably somewhere around 50 or whatever, but like, yeah, I don't know. When I was a kid, I had some friends that had some pretty hot moms. So I guess I always thought the older ladies that looked good really did something for me. I always looked at them and was like, you could teach me a thing or two, couldn't you? Wouldn't you? Won't you? Oh, please teach me something. I need it. But yes, natural beauty. I'll take it back away from the chauvinist male pig oink oink stuff. True Detective. She's in True Detective. Think I'll have to watch that. You could consider Loomis a final guy. I think of him as more of like the Van Helsing to Michael's Dracula, but he lives, at least in the first movie. Then they bring him back, even though he's pretty much dead after the second one. Yeah. Maybe I should. If it's on, what is it on? HBO Max? Maybe if somebody shares their login info with me. Season 1 of True Detective is unforgettable. What about Reagan from The Exorcist? She's a final girl, right? I suppose so. That's a really difficult one with those Exorcist movies. Is she totally okay at the end? Because doesn't it kind of hang on to her throughout the sequel? I've never watched the sequel, though. Okay, guys, this poll here, which horror subgenre is most overrated? 17 votes. 47% of you said supernatural. 35% say slasher. And 17% say psychological. And holy cow, we're getting close to 10:30. I've been streaming for just over 2 hours, so I think I might sort of wrap it up here and get to work on some other stuff. I've got movies to watch and TV shows to watch and dinner to clean up after and some other stuff to do for the channel here, guys. But this has been amazing. If you guys wanted to do, seriously, reach out to me through Instagram or through Twitter if you've got an idea for a stream. I'm always trying to come up with new ideas for streams, really fun stuff like this. Thank you so much, Michelle. Glad you dig the polls there. Looky V9N says, why are you calling yourself a pig or chauvinist for talking about women? I'm just being silly though. Yeah, no, I think if I'm not normal, I'm just as much not normal as everyone else. Yeah, I'm just sort of tongue in cheek. Yeah. No, I would speak so much more if it were real life. You would hear all sorts of filthy talk from me. Thank you so much, Chester, for the great polls comment. Thank you for the stream, Davey. You're very welcome, Brooke. Hopefully you have a great rest of your night. You're very welcome, you guys. You guys are awesome. Yeah, we can do more of these. I'm really digging doing these like kind of later streams. It seems like we get a good amount of people and we get to jump into some interesting topics. So let's just kind of keep this train going. And because you guys reached the super chat goal today, we are going to do a bonus stream this weekend. So that will probably be on either Saturday afternoon, depending on how tired I am after getting up at 4 a.m. for work, or Sunday. So keep an eye out for that. And what we're going to talk about horror movie soundtracks. I might give you guys a few options. Horror movie soundtracks, talk about the soundtracks that slay, and maybe a couple other options, and see what you guys think for that super chat stream. And for you members, before you get out of here, for all you members only stream tomorrow. That's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern. So keep an eye out for that. I'm going to get that all set up right after the stream here and share that. And you guys aren't going to want to miss it. It's been a while since we've had a members only stream. So I really am looking forward to kicking it with you guys. Thank you so much to everyone who is hanging out with us live tonight. If you're watching after the fact, you are awesome. That's amazing to hang out and watch 2 hours of a replay of a live stream, but thank you so much. Jump on into the comments down below. Let me know what you think about these polls that we had and all the topics and questions that I asked. You know, go ahead and get active in the comment section. I love having that conversation with you guys. I love jumping in and going back and forth, you know, slasher versus supernatural versus psychological. Give me all of your thoughts down there. Big thank you to the Patreon members and the YouTube channel members, as well as our lovely group of Death Squad mods. And thank you so much to everybody who threw out a super chat tonight. Let's do our super chat roundup of the night. Let's see here. Chills and Thrills, 199, and another, or a 199 from Pumpkin King. Another 199 from Pumpkin King. Another 199 from Pumpkin King, and another 199 from Pumpkin King. Then we had Amanda jump in here celebrating that 9 days of sobriety. No alcohol. Love it. I'm loving it. I'm sure you guys can tell that I'm a bit more, the synapses are firing. Another 199 from Pumpkin King and a 49.99 from Pumpkin King. Holy cow. 9.99 from Pumpkin King. Another 199er from Amanda. Cody Snyder celebrating 12 months of membership. That's amazing. Pumpkin King threw out a 99.99 super chat. Can you guys believe it? I feel like the channel really is starting to pop off here. Another 199 from Amanda, who wants my face on everyone's butt cheeks on sweatpants. So there we go. And another 4.99 from Amanda, who wants short shorts as well. And NRU Cody is celebrating 3 months of channel membership. Thank you guys so much for all the support, not just with watching the videos and liking and subscribing and sharing the channel and commenting and hanging out in the live streams, but thank you so much to everybody who is able to and chooses to support the channel financially. It brings us, you know, closer and closer to me reaching this dream and being able to do this for a living, which would be absolutely incredible. You guys are amazing. I'm going to take tomorrow off. Okay, hopefully that's okay. I'm going to take tomorrow off, but I will be back. Well, not for you channel members. For you channel members, I'll be here. For the public, I'm going to take tomorrow off. I may drop some pre-recorded videos on some of the new stuff. And then this weekend, I'll be back for that live stream with everyone else. But yeah, that's going to do it. So you know how we roll here. Until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Take care.